What is up? It's Core from Cody Media. Let's talk about expectations versus reality of starting a restaurant marketing agency. I don't know about you, but when I started out several years ago with my agency, I had very different expectations of what was going to happen. And it was a reality check once I got in and started doing things. And I wish I would have known these things in the reality side first before I started. It would have made my journey much easier, much less stressful, and I think I would have gotten there faster. So let's dive in. Expectations versus reality, all right? Number one, expectations is, what I thought was most important was stuff. What do I mean by stuff? I thought I had to have awesome business cards. And so I hired a graphic designer to make me a great logo, design business cards. I thought if I want to get clients, I need a business card. I thought I needed a fancy website. So I hired somebody to make me a website. I learned how to do, I took courses to learn how to do ClickFunnels and messenger bots and all kinds of things. All right. But those things are nice, but they didn't bring any money into my bank account, okay? So what does bring money into your bank account? Relationships, all right? So that is number one. I wish I would have focused sooner on building relationships with people so that I could get clients. That is what matters. Now, how do we do that? How do I do that? Well, I discovered a new way using what I call an Eats page, where you go in and you feature a restaurant, you start getting to know them. I think of it kind of like dating, and you go on a couple dates with them, and it's just a much easier way to get in and get to know somebody rather than cold calling. I have other videos. I'll drop a link below talking about the Eats page. But that is number one. Don't focus on stuff that does not bring money in. Really, all you're doing is paying money out, and you're wasting your time, money, and energy on something that does not really matter. All right. So that's number one. Number two is I thought everything had to be perfect. All right, and it paralyzed me. What do I mean by that? Whenever let's say I sent out an email, or I would spend hours and hours and hours working on a landing page or a messenger bot. And it would paralyze me from doing anything because I was so afraid that if I put something out into the world, it was gonna screw it up. What I finally one day realized was I need to just take imperfect action every single day. And you know what? I screwed up a lot. Early on, my first couple clients when I was working with, I made all kinds of mistakes. But you know what? The clients didn't even realize that I had made mistakes. I was being my own worst critic, all right? And once I let go of that fear, and it took some time, but once I let go of that fear and said, it's okay if I make mistakes, I'm going to make mistakes. And if I don't make mistakes, I'm never gonna learn, and I'm never gonna get better at what I do, all right? So that's the next thing. I talk about imperfect action. You've gotta take imperfect action. We're all starting somewhere. Everybody is starting somewhere. You've gotta get yourself and put yourself out there. I look back at my first videos that I made, and I get people tell me that they really enjoy watching these videos, and I really appreciate that. But when I look back at my first videos, they were awful. But if I had waited until I had like a nice camera and lights and stuff like that, it would have just slowed me down. So taking imperfect action, even though those videos were terrible, and even though I messed up a lot early on with clients, it propelled things forward for my agency, all right? Number three, expectation is I thought it was going to be a sprint, right? We see these people online sitting in front of their Lamborghinis or their big houses, and they've got all this money rolling in, and they're showing off this lifestyle. And they make it seem like it's an overnight success, all right? Like, for example, I saw a course one time that was like 30 days to 6 figures, all right? That's not realistic. It's not gonna happen. You cannot, if it was so easy that in 30 days you could be making 6 figures, we'd all be bazillionaires, all right? It's just not right. What is it? It is a marathon, all right? And it is perseverance, and it is to keep going even when you want to give up, all right? And that's what sets apart the people that succeed with agencies and those that don't. All right. What I see happen a lot is people think it's a sprint. They think, okay, I'm going to do this thing, this new strategy or whatever, and I'm going to give it like a month. And they give it a month or two, and they are like, well, this isn't working. And then they move on to the next thing. And they're constantly jumping from shiny object to shiny object to shiny object. And they're taking all these little sprints, right? They'll take a course and they'll sprint for a couple months. That doesn't work. They're on to the next thing. What I see when I see people that are really successful, and what's worked for me is I got clear and I focused in on how am I going to get clients? I do it with an Eats page, and that's how I get restaurant clients. And so I said, this is a marathon, and I'm going to take this method and I'm just going to stick with it. And you know what? It didn't take months and months and months. It took a couple months and I started seeing traction. Now, it didn't go 30, 60 days to becoming six figures, but it slowly over time, it just starts building. And once it starts building, it's like a snowball. It doesn't stop. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So that's my encouragement to you is think of this as a marathon and stop jumping from thing to thing all the time. Now, I have a training about how to get restaurant clients with an Eats page. Like I said, I'll link it down below where you can learn exactly what we do, how to do it, because it just makes it so much easier to do these things. Build a relationship, take imperfect action, and think of it as a marathon that will really help you get going faster in your agency. And I promise, have more success if you put it into place. So that's my quick thing. I wish I would have known these things. These were my expectations versus reality. If you got value out of this, I would love if you could subscribe and hit that like button. That would mean a lot to me. It would help other people discover this channel as well. So hope you're having a wonderful day. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out and I will talk to you soon. Thank you.